Forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manapara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manapara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stretton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stretton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manapara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au, and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults, plus the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manapara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au, and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stratton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manapara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stratton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art events.
All right, good evening, councillors. Welcome to the March Strategy and Services Committee meeting. I declare the meeting open at 7 p.m. We'll start with the attendance record, and I've got an apology from the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Arifi, Councillor Smiljanic, Councillor Bayani and Councillor Craig. And I also note the absence of Councillor David Kerrison and Councillor Peter Rentoulis, who are both taking a leave of absence until the state government election results are publicly declared. So we will move on to item 2, confirmation of minutes. So we have a recommendation on the screen that the minutes of the Strategy and Services Committee meeting held on the 10th of February 2026 be confirmed as a true and accurate record of proceedings. Is anyone looking to move that way? Is anyone looking to move the recommendation? Councillor Onuzans.
Yes, happy to move the recommendation. Thank you.
Do you wish to speak?
No, I'm all good. Thanks.
Does it find a second, Mayor Doherty?
Happy to second. No need to speak.
Does anyone else wish to speak? Nope. If not, I will put that to a vote. All those in favour and those against, I declare it carried. We will move on to item 3, declarations of interest. Are there any? Councillor Baker.
Thank you. I have a general conflict of interest with item 5.2, the Norma, as a deputy board member, but to maintain a quorum, I'll remain in the meeting but take no part in the debate or the vote.
Thank you, Councillor Baker. Councillor Marsh.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Happy to do the same, declaring a general interest for item 5.2, the Norma Charter, for the reasons that I'm a Norma board member. For the purpose of maintaining a quorum, I'll remain in the chamber, but I won't move or second a motion, nor will I participate in the debate.
Thank you. Are there any other declarations of interest? No. If not, we'll move on. So we'll move to item 4, deputations and representations, which are nil. So we will move on to item 5.1 on page 6, which is Disability Access and Inclusion Plan 2025 to 2029. And we have a staff recommendation on the screen. Is anyone looking to move that? Councillor Smallwood-Smith.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to move the staff recommendation. I don't wish to speak, thank you.
Does it find a second? Councillor Halls.
Yes, I'll second that. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak? Councillor Onuzans.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So I'm just happy to note that we have obviously endorsed now the recommendation, which needs voting as well. But we are obviously meeting our obligations under the DEIP, which has been shaped through consultation with people with disability, their families, carers and service providers and staff. But I think it highlights also that we are inspiring the community to remove barriers and create more inclusive and equitable community. So obviously, as part of a broader society, we share the responsibility to uphold and protect this right across all areas of life. And I'm just happy to say that as I go through the attachment, the whole attachment, I'm just feeling so happy that we have considered this so well as council. I'm proud to be living in this part of the country. Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak? No. If not, Councillor Smallwood-Smith, you have the right to close if you wish. No. And I'll put that to a vote. All those in favour and those against, I declare it carried. Moving on to item 5.2 on page 109, we have the Norma Charter amendment. And we have a staff recommendation on the screen. Is anyone wishing to move that? Councillor Onuzans.
Yes, happy to endorse the Norma Charter Amendment Attachment 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Smith, do you wish a second?
I'll second that motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else wishing to speak? No. If not, Councillor Onuzans, you have the right to close if you wish. No. And we'll put that to a vote. All those in favour and those against? I declare it. Yeah. Just for clarity, councillors, I declare that vote carried. We will move on to item 5.3 on page 136, titled Consultation Paper Review of Allowances for Members of Local Government Councils Remuneration Tribunal SA. We have a staff recommendation on the screen. Is anyone wishing to move that? Councillor Baker.
Move the recommendation.
Thank you. Does it find a seconder? Councillor Norris.
Happy to second and just speak really quickly. I guess wanted to make note that I think it's really important, and obviously council are looking to essentially push for remuneration in band 1A, and I think considering the growth of the population, the fact that there will be less councillors at the next election, and I think the amount of work that needs to essentially be done and the complex needs of our community, I think it's more than appropriate, so I appreciate the advocacy.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak? No. If not, Councillor Baker, do you wish to close? No. I'll put it to a vote. All those in favour and those against? I declare it carried. Thank you, councillors. We will move on to item 5.4 on page 173, and that is the consultation paper 2026 review of minimum and maximum remuneration for local government chief executive officers. Is anyone wishing to move the staff recommendation? Councillor Norris.
Happy to move a staff recommendation, don't need to speak.
Thank you. Councillor Halls.
Happy to second that, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak? No. Councillor Norris, you have the right to close if you wish. No. I'll put that to a vote. All those in favour and those against, it's carried. All right, we will move on to item 6, informal discussion. So on page 255, we have a quarterly capital projects update for staff to present.
Great. Through the Chair, good evening everyone. Number of projects to update councillors on tonight. 3 presenters, myself, Janie and John. A good variety of projects from definition, planning, design through to execution and completed projects. There is 1 slide per item, so I think we'll just get into it. Under the definition, in the business plan this year, there's a project for the Anguvale sports facility to expand the community space for the clubs that they use. We've done a fair bit of work in there, and there's been a fair bit of consultation with the association and the club presidents in that space, and it's become quite evident that the social space, but as well as some of the other facilities in that precinct, no longer function certainly as well as they should, and they're certainly not up to standard when it comes to the current sporting code standards. So what we're proposing here is to move from looking at just the social space and potentially the kitchen facilities to progressing to a master plan and building on the great work that's previously been done to really deliver what's required out of that facility, rather than just, I suppose, trying to deal with issues as they come up and have something which is really sort of insufficient and not addressing the concerns of the community. So we undertook a workshop out on site with the association president and the club presidents to really get down to the nitty-gritty of the issues that are being faced out there. And rather than just the social space and the kitchens, it's apparent that the change rooms, the number of members, I think, which exceeds 1,700 members out on site at the moment, when they have game days on Saturdays and Sundays, over 2,000 people, you know, using the servery, using a single kitchen, people sort of clambering over each other. There's real capacity issues there as well as safety concerns. So based on that, we've gone away and looked at sort of zooming out a little bit and looking at how that might work from a master planning perspective. Certainly we think, and looking at the plan that's up there, it's a little bit hard for me to see because of my glasses and looking at that, so I'll just sort of talk to the colours if that's okay. So the yellow sort of outlined rectangle there is the community and kitchen space. So when I say community space, it's the space for the sporting clubs when they have their social functions, meals, club presentations, those sorts of things. Looking at expanding that and making the kitchens work properly, so probably duplicating that. And there's 5 clubs that use that facility at the moment. So 5 clubs using a single kitchen effectively and 1 social space which is about 125 square metres. Really the place is bursting at the seams. So we're looking at expanding that space. We're looking at expanding the existing change room. So potentially if we put 2 clubs in that building, we can do that. We can expand the existing social space, deal with the kitchen issues, potentially separate those. Also have build on the existing change rooms. And then potentially have 2 clubs operating out of there, and then look at constructing a new facility, which is that blue rectangle, which would accommodate netball and soccer, having that located between the 2 soccer pitches. And that then opens up the possibility of introducing a synthetic pitch out on that side as well. Just dealing with the numbers and the wear and tear that creates on those surfaces, we think that's a good opportunity to do that. And talking with the club a few weeks ago, with the clubs a few weeks ago, you know, it was identified that this sort of work would be years out. It's not going to happen next year. So any sort of physical changes on the ground would be some years out. And that raised the question about temporary facilities and how we potentially can use temporary facilities to get from now to then, basically. So the next steps are to develop this master plan up a little bit more, to have a second workshop with the clubs and the association president out on site or at council, and then come back to council at a future council information session to identify and discuss with the council what we're proposing to do there. Moving on to One Tree Hill. So that is progressing. I won't go over the objectives or the scope because I do that every 3 months, and I think the council's aware of that. So in terms of an update, I think I said last time we've done the walkability study and we have completed the on-site survey, so that work has now been done. And we've gone out to an open tender to test the market, and we've procured a design consultant, and they're progressing that work now. So I think in a matter of a few weeks we should have an initial concept based on the urban design framework that was done quite a few years ago now. We are also establishing a working group with DIT, much like we did with Heathslip Road, and we'll work with them in a collaborative sense to prepare the concept design. So the next stages are to get the concept design, have the meetings with DIT, and then bring that to council through a future information session as well. In terms of Heathslip Road, some work's been happening there obviously. Following council information session back in November last year, we very strongly heard that we need to go for the high amenity option. That's what the community deserve out there. But also to include the bits of, or the sections of Heathslip Road from Curtis Road to Severio Boulevard and from Frad Road to Anglevale Road, in order to get a complete picture of that length of road and to make sure that the outcomes make sense with each other and the community can actually see the broader, bigger picture. Obviously that wouldn't be delivered in one time, and that would be subject to funding and whatnot. So based on that, we amended our design. We have written formally to DIT because we were getting bits of information from the project team, and we wanted to be confident when we go out to public consultation that this is actually what DIT will be doing. So we heard back from DIT only last week in a formal sense, so a written letter saying that they are progressing with the detailed design from Curtis Road to Severio Boulevard, which is great. They did mention that there's no funding for the delivery of that at this point in time, so that remains a question mark. And they did confirm that the section of Heathslip Road between Frad Road and Anglevale Road will be duplicated, and that will be duplicated to provide storage of vehicles coming off Anglevale Road to prevent queuing on Anglevale Road. And that's most likely just the western side of Heathslip Road. So the next steps for us are to finalise that concept design based on that advice. So we're putting that back to the project team saying this has now been finalised. We've heard back from senior people at DIT to confirm what they're doing. This is what we want to put out on public consultation. Then we'll come back to the council to get approval of the final master plan and to put that on public consultation. Midway Road, so this is a new project that hasn't been discussed in this forum before. So the project objective up here is to really improve safety and efficiency for all road users and transport modes. This is identified as number 4 in the transport strategy. From 2020 to 2024, there's actually 96 accidents on Midway Road, and that excludes the intersections with Main North Road. Unfortunately, one of those accidents was fatal. 3 were serious, and there's 33 minor injury claims on that section of road. So this work is really about improving, I suppose, primarily the safety aspect of Midway Road. It's over 4 kilometres in length, and the definition stage is really about what can we do to make that road safer. And that will look at line marking, protuberances, pedestrian crossings, but also the opportunity to improve the amenity of that street, so street canopy coverage, public transport use, those type of things. So we've recently appointed the engineering design consultant to help us with that work. They're preparing preliminary designs. They've done a number of assessments in terms of traffic counts, observations of how traffic and people move in that area, and we'll be progressing those preliminary designs based on that information. Just in terms of infrastructure deeds, in terms of roads and upgrading roads from rural to urban standard, Harris Road, Bubna and Chevelle are being done together because they all link basically. So we're moving through definition, probably about 75% complete. Frad Road is about the same, about 75% complete. Frisbee Road detailed design is nearing completion. The Frisbee-Curtis intersection, there's been a number of meetings with DIT in relation to that. The idea initially was a roundabout. There's now in principle an agreement to have that as a signalised intersection. It's felt that that's a better outcome in that location. So we're progressing the definition based on that in principle decision. Andrews Curtis Road intersection, that work is basically 100% complete. We've received the design of those from the developer who's undertaken that work. I think we received that information last week. So next step is, well, that would be delivery, but detailed design in relation to a number of those roads. In relation to stormwater, so there's two there, McAvoy Road, that's probably about, I would say about 50% through the definition phase for this financial year. And the Nexie Western Swale is about 90% through detailed design. So that work is progressing very well. In terms of the McAvoy Road, that will go to detailed design, which should happen in the very near future. So Angevale Bridge, I'll just hand you over to Janie, who will take it forward from here. Thank you.
Thank you, through the chair. I don't get to do the definition phase of projects very often, so this is really good for me. But we've, per the council resolution, where option 6 was chosen for the Angevale Bridge site, being the reinstatement, not the reconstruction of a footbridge, we've now completed that concept design work. So here is the one of the concept pictures to show you. We have sent this through to Light Regional Council. They, as we're not aware that they have any plans to do anything on their side. And the next steps for this project will be the subject per the council resolution of a future annual business plan to deliver on that concept design. Moving into projects in planning and design. We have a project for this year to upgrade Yulee Cemetery, so placemaking, including acknowledging the history and significance of the people buried in there. The scope includes benches, a new path, and some visitor information signage. And where we're up to is the signage content is now just being finalised, as is the quote for the installation of the footpath. So that project will proceed quite soon. When we're done with that, we'll then hand that site over to City Operations to work their magic with greening and an ongoing maintenance plan to keep that cemetery in good condition. Dwight Reserve change rooms. As you'll remember, this design contract was awarded in October 2024, but we then paused that project while we did a scope review. As you'll remember, we were going to refurbish one of the buildings and then completely knock down and rebuild another. The final decision was to integrate those two projects to make a single 2-storey building. Now that decision's been made, the design is now underway again, and we're in fact forecasting that design work will be complete in May. The construction of this project has already been funded through a previous annual business plan, so that will move immediately to tender on completion of that detailed design. Ridley Reserve Sports Facility. You'll have seen this concept design before. We are excited about the shape, obviously, the Art Deco look. So point of this project, improve amenity for club members and the local community. And really the point of all those windows is to maximise spectator viewing internally and externally due to the orientation of those fields. We have waited until now to progress with the detailed design tender call. So we've been recently advised that we were unsuccessful in both of those grant applications for both Power of Her and the Community Rec and Sport Facilities Programme. So now we have that confirmation. We are proceeding to tender for detailed design. That's imminent. I'm expecting that tender to be called this week for that design. John?
Thanks, Janie, through the chair. Next project is the Playford Water Expansion Project. 1.98 million was received by the Department of Environment and Water as part of the Alternative Waters Federal government buyback scheme. Scope includes the expansion of the Andrews Farm capture basin by about 50 meg. To give you an idea, that's about 25% larger than what's there currently. And connecting up 18 new sites to currently on potable water to recycled water. Status update, the hydraulic modelling has been complete. Design documentation has also been completed, and we've moved into construction tender has closed, and we're just evaluating those tenders currently. Moving on to execution and construction projects. I've got the first one, so that's the 25-26 AMP renewals. Mofflin Reserve, the Century United Football Club change rooms, the tender evaluation has been completed. Expect works to commence sometime in April, and we've also included temporary change rooms for that build period. Broadmeadows, that's the access compliant facilities. We're just waiting for some improvements to be done to the toilets next door to Broadmeadows. That's been completed. The tender evaluation has also been completed, and we expect those works to start in May. Ramsay Park, the portable change rooms, site works will begin next Monday, with handover expected sometime early April. POC Depot, perimeter fence and amenities, work on the perimeter fence. That's a black tubular fence, black tubular fence, similar to next door. That's expected to commence in April, and works on the amenities is also expected to commence in April as well. Stevenage Park, the public toilet, that contract has been awarded, works to be complete by the end of May, and that's a fully automated toilet similar to, well, it's going to be an ex-loo toilet on that site. And Coonawarra Reserve, once again, that's a public toilet next door to the existing club rooms. That contract has also been awarded, and works will be completed by the end of June for that project. Sports lighting LED replacement, as I spoke at the information session, that's a rolling 4-year program. We're in year 1 of that program. Agana Park has basically been completed. The soccer fields was completed on Thursday. They've now moved to the AFL second oval, and then we'll move to Anglevale and Virginia shortly thereafter. The lights for both of those projects have already been purchased. We're just waiting for the in-store to go and come back from the market. And back to Janie.
Thanks, Jen, through the chair. Next one in the execution phase is Riverlea Sports Precinct. So as elected members will be aware, we're not delivering this. We're partnering with the Riverlea developer and Catholic Education for this project. The construction contract will be awarded very, very shortly. The sod turning has been undertaken, and construction is forecast to complete this month. Obviously, the target for completion is prior to the end of this calendar year, as the school will be opening. Manopara Sports Ground. This is our biggest council-delivered project at the moment, with the 2 pitches, 1 oval, the club rooms, change rooms, car parking and play space. We were again unsuccessful in the Power of Her grant for stage 3. However, we have undertaken the stage 2 construction contract award, and construction commencement will be on the 26th of March. So only a few weeks away. Next steps are we are 90% through the design of the stage 3 works. What we are intending to do when that design is complete, we included in the tender to get that quoted by the successful stage 2 contractor, and subject to annual business plan approval, we will roll those contracts together for delivery. Stevenheath Dalkeith roundabout. So as you'll remember, this is Black Spot funded, 1.986 million, and is a joint project with the town of Gawler. Construction commenced in January, and Touchwood is going really, really well on this site. We are ahead of schedule. All the service locations are now complete. and the northern side roadworks are complete. So today, we cut over the traffic management from cars driving on the southern side of the roundabout to driving on the new side on the north. What this does mean, though, is that Stebben Heath Road is a dead end in both directions now, so you can only drive up Dalkeith Road. If you're on Dalkeith Road, that's really good because you get much longer green time. But yes, we are not permitting access onto or off of Stebben Heath Road in either direction onto Dalkeith Road. This will only last, though, for about 5 weeks, so construction completion is forecast for mid-April. And then next steps after that, we will do the Dalkeith Road renewal, obviously where it's all in quite poor condition. We have always intended to wait for the completion of this roundabout and also now for SA Waterworks. They're doing some more pipe works further up Dalkeith Road towards Anglevale Road. Sheedy Road upgrade is also off and running. So upgrading this road from rural to urban standard. We commenced this at the end of January. The stormwater works in Coratina Reserve are 90% complete. We're just waiting for some delivery of some materials before we do the final road crossing. And the stormwater installation is progressing really well up Sheedy Road itself. So this road is currently closed between O'Loughlin Road and Juniper, except for local traffic. So anyone that actually lives in that section of the road is permitted through. Otherwise, it's closed completely to traffic while we undertake this upgrade. Next steps for this is we are still forecasting completion in, I'm calling it winter. I am expecting that to be August of this year. Park Road Drain, $2.632 million grant through the Stormwater Management Authority to protect housing and horticultural land in Virginia. We've been on site since September 2025 on this project, and again, this is going reasonably well as well. In the top right-hand corner on that picture, all of the green section on the left is now complete. The tiny bit of green section on the left, it just having a footpath reinstalled, but all of the actual stormwater works are complete, and the contractor will move over to sections 6 and 7, which is the right-hand side of the diagram, and not even actually connected to section 3 on Park Road. We are forecasting completion in May, well ahead of our grant deadline of June. The annual footpath program, so both the new and renewal ones, we do have 47 individual projects to deliver this year. 11 are new and 36 were renewal and or with widening. One of these is design only. In terms of the status of that whole program, 32 of those 46 that we intend to build are complete. 4 are in construction right now. Another 9 have had the construction contract awarded, so they're just waiting sequencing, and the design is underway for the one design. So the next steps are just deliver the rest of that program and award the contract for the one footpath we haven't awarded yet. That photo there is the completed footpath in Fremont Park, which is was widened as well as part of the works. The road program. Last time I did this presentation, I said there was 100 roads in this program. There's now 104. 3 of those are actually additional sections of Craigmore Road that we've added into the program. And one of them, I think I just counted them wrong, honestly. I think it should have been 101, so apologies for that. 2 are design only. We have 3 roundabouts and 2 road capping projects. Capping being sealing unsealed roads. So the status of the program, 39 roads are complete, 32 are in construction, and another 25 have their contract awarded and are awaiting scheduling. I did want to talk through the 7 roads that are currently on hold in this program. So various reasons. Bevan Road renewal is us. So we have put that project on hold because it's in between Sheedy Road and Park Road. So they don't need any other interference while we have Sheedy Road closed. White Parish Peachy and President Avenue are all on hold due to SA Waterworks, so they will be on hold temporarily, but not in the long term, and we can release those for resurfacing as soon as the SA Waterworks are complete. Morialta Drive is a developer, so we've just deferred that until the development is complete. Coleman Road and Stebben Heath Road, however, we are intending to defer and remove from the programme completely and put them back at a later date. Coleman Road has very major development going on. It's a defence project to the extent that I think we'll probably need to redesign that road before we come for renewal. And Stebben Heath Road, similarly, we did put it in the programme for reseal, but it actually needs to be a rural to urban road upgrade, so we will put that back through the priorities in the transport plan. So next steps, completion of the rest of that programme. And of note, Frobisher intersection upgrade will commence either at the end of this month or next month. This is of note because we will need to close that intersection. So just outside here at the intersection of outside the police station and Elizabeth Way, that intersection will be closed for kind of 6 to 8 weeks while we do a full upgrade of that intersection early next month. I did want to talk through the Craigmore Road renewal because it wasn't in the original programme. We have brought this forward. So the objectives of this is to improve the community outcomes following SA Waters works, but also importantly for us to maximise the community benefit and benefit to council through us collaborating with SA Water. So the top picture shows the SA Water trench after reinstatement. So they reinstated as per their requirements. Because of the shape of their trench, with the sticking out bits, it was a bit like driving on railway tracks. We've been working very closely with SA Water to try and get a better outcome from the community. So there are 3 sections of Craigmore Road that we will now put in, or have put in our programmes for renewal. So Pine Ridge to Bentley, Bentley to Springvale, and Springvale to Adams. So those are the 3 different SA Water sections and the sections they're working on, shown between the red lines below. So all up, that's about 1.5 kilometres. So section 1, Pine Ridge to Bentley, we came in January as soon as we were back from the Christmas break. And that whole section, you can see in the black at the top, was completely deep lift and resealed, including the wearing course. We did stop just to the east of Pine Ridge. Going to Pine Ridge or to the left of it means you have to close that intersection as well, which means you then have to stop people coming in off Main North Road because there's nowhere for them to go. So we started there and we came as far as we can along Craigmore Road. So that was about 575 metres completed in January. Section 2 is Bentley to Springvale. So in the bottom section, that's the bit that looks black because we've already done the deep lift in that section. This was where SA Water were finishing work just before Christmas, and we came right behind them so that we could do the deep lift on that road without them having to reinstate it. And this is an important part of the agreement we have with SA Water. So SA Water have contributed $460,000 to our reseal program because that's what they would have spent doing a reinstatement that looks like the one in the first slide. So they've contributed that money. They don't have to do the reinstatement as long as we are right behind them doing deep lift and reseal. So the black section in the bottom picture, Bentley to Springvale, we did the deep lift, but we didn't do the wearing course. So if you've driven up it, you'll see that there's little bits of ramps up to pit lids and the curb looks like it's a bit high. We were unable to do the wearing course in that visit because they were still doing other works. And then section 3, which is Springvale to Adams, which is the green, colourblind. This is another 240 metre section, and we started this today. So the action shot from this morning of the profile pulling that up. We will be in there. They've just finished that section, so we are right behind them. So again, they don't have to do any reinstatement. And in that visit, we will also come and do the wearing course on the section that we did before Christmas, so that it will all be up to level, and that section will be complete too. So next steps, what will be left? We still will need to come back and do the section between Bentley Road going west. So SA Water are currently in this triangle and also up to the right line. They're doing installation of bends and crossings and pipe work in there, so we don't have access to that section yet. And they also do, they're on site there right now though. And then the bottom picture, the Adams Road intersection, they still have works to do in that section, so we can't go past the Glasgow intersection, and they advise us currently that they're forecasting May to come back into that section. So once they're out, again, we'll be right behind them, but we can't finish those 2 sections right now this week. And then finally, completed projects since our last presentation. Woodford-Dauncey roundabout, works commenced in November and were completed in December, so just the before and after shots of the completed roundabout. Kalara Reserve Car Park, this is the unsealed car park next to the new facility. So works commenced in January and are just completed. We are just waiting to do the line marking on that, so that then finishes the Kalara Reserve upgrade project as a whole. And the Stebbin Heath Wetlands footbridges and decks, we started in November and works were completed on those at the end of last week, so in March. The picture on the left is a progress shot, not what it looks like now, obviously the deck's on. Any questions?
Councillor Norris.
Thank you. I just had a question regarding Craigmore Road, because you've just kind of just made it known that we've completed certain sections, but I know the section between Bentley and Dublin isn't yet finished. And then obviously we've got the SA Water have blocked off the section between Adams and Glasgow, and that sort of bit where Springvale kind of starts and you can still turn in. So obviously they're doing their works there, but definitely between Bentley and Springvale Drive, we're still driving over, you know, the big manholes. There's still definitely opportunity there for cars to, you know, have a bit of impact and a bit of damage.
Yep, so that's the black section on these. So we are sealing that up to level this week.
This week?
This week, right now.
Okay.
We're on site right now.
Yeah.
So we're doing the green and also the wearing course on the black.
So would you suggest then that between Bentley and essentially Adams Road there is no access, so people for Craigmore can't go through Dublin or Glasgow?
For the next,
they'll have to
for
go
the next
through
3 days.
Zurich?
Yeah, for the next 3 days. Yeah. 100%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, unfortunately, SA Water were unable to delay their works at Bentley, so we have got both ends closed at the same time, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah. I know we've tried to do the right thing here. It just seems like it's a very long, drawn-out process.
And it's quite a long detour currently as well, but rip the Band-Aid, 3 days.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? If not, thank you for your presentation. So moving on to item 6.2, we have a City Operations Quarterly Update from Mr. Carter.
Through the Chair, thank you for having me here this evening to share a City Operations Quarterly Update. Items or topics we want to talk to tonight are some changes within the City Operations team, some high-level customer request data, our Verges program, illegally dumped rubbish, pests and weeds, stormwater, trees, parks, gardens and streetscapes, roads, uplift works, and some information on our storm event planning. So I've been in the role for a little over 6 months now. So last year I spent a good part of my time having a good look at the structure and our delivery model for city operations. So in line with our workforce plan and to, I guess, put a structure in place for our the growth and to make sure our delivery model's fit for purpose. We made some changes to our structure. So we've got, also I just want to acknowledge I've got 4 of my operations managers here tonight. So we've got Ben Hall, Ryan Young, Justin Groves and Troy Kleinig here as well. So we've got a civil infrastructure team, we've got Parks and Verges. One of the main changes that we made was the Parks and Landscapes area. So due to the size of that team and that discipline, we split the sports fields off of that team and created a standalone manager position there, and then a standalone manager, a Parks and Gardens position. So within our manager sports facilities and biodiversity is Justin Groves, who's here tonight. has a wealth of knowledge managing and experience managing sports precincts across South Australia and nationally. And we've got Troy, who's the new manager of Parks and Gardens here as well. So really what the aim was here was, with the Parks and Gardens, the way that, the sheer volume of growth we're experiencing in this space, that hits us day one. As soon as we get those gifted assets, we need to be ready and hit the ground running. They're quite different to road or other civil infrastructure where you might have a few years and, the maintenance is minimal. So really we needed a focus on that and a manager that just had the time and the space to really focus on managing that function. So we'll really expect to see improved, city presentation because of that. We're already seeing the benefits of improved mentoring out in the field with our horticulture staff. A lot of them are doing their studies at the moment, which is part of our workforce planning, and just the way that they're engaged in their work and the value they're adding and they're getting from the new manager has been pleasing. As I said, a focus on the gifted assets. So day one that hits us, so we really just need to have a focus on that. In the sports fields, so traditionally we were quite focused on just the grass, the turf areas. Justin's role is really focused on all things sporting precincts now. So the team have been briefed, if they drive through the gate, they're responsible for it. They don't have to do it all, but, they're responsible for, the pothole in the road, the tree that needs maintenance, the sports field. They're the curators of the grass, but also the netball courts, the tennis courts. They've kind of always traditionally been a little bit kind of out of scope and not clearly defined to anyone's role. So the brief now is very clear that that role is responsible for those functions. And as we're already seeing, we're improved collaboration with the sporting clubs. So we've got our recreational planning team in council that work closely, but as we know, a lot of the clubs have a lot of day-to-day issues on the ground where they need to really talk to the greenskeeper or the curator of the oval, and that's Justin's role now. And we're already experiencing some good results with that. And then Ryan's role is civil infrastructure, so that's really just a focus on all things civil infrastructure now. It currently still has the illegally dumped rubbish in it, but that'll be moving to another team in the near future. But again, just the size of the council, having a manager that can just really focus on all things civil infrastructure and the maintenance and management of that on a day-to-day basis will have a lot of benefit. So then, Ben's tree services, Greg, who's not here tonight, is support services, and Luke, who's not here, is parks and verges. One of the the next big change part of our structure is we're introducing another manager, so that'll be a manager of city operations planning. So their role will be really focused on all the service assurance, doing service reviews, looking at the gifted asset planning, so really forecasting that, so we've got that oversight, that long-term vision to make sure it's well planned for, and they're supporting the ops managers to have adequate plans and resourcing in place, and making sure, probably one of the key pieces of the puzzle is making sure our maintenance plans are all aligned with each other. At the moment, we see we kind of are off doing our own thing, and we do trip ourselves up at times where one team will go in and do a bit of work, and then the next team will come in and potentially undo some of that good work. So this city operations planning is a coordinated role which will have good oversight of everything happening in city operations and be a bit more strategic, not just within city operations but the wider council, to make sure that we're coordinated with all things, planning, growth, asset management, capital works. And they'll have a team of officers in there, which are our technical officers and our administration officers in that team, who are out and about, gathering data on a daily basis and doing audits of parks and gardens or roads or stormwaters, and bringing that intel back to build coordinated plans. Some high-level customer request stats for 2025. It's been 5 months since I've provided an update, so I just thought I'd just give it a high-level overview. As you can see, 2025 we had over about 1,500 more customer requests for that period compared to 2024. The top requests were rubbish removal, which were the same for previous 2024 year, graffiti removal, tree pruning, feature there as well. Manapara was the highest suburb to get the most requests. Our verge maintenance, so yeah, as you're well aware, we do 5 services across the city. 4 services have been complete. We're just in the final 2 to 3 weeks of our 5th service there. So the team have done a great job. It's late last year we had kept getting a lot of rain events coming in, which really pushed the growth. So it was quite challenging for the team to keep up on that, and we had to shuffle our programs around to go and hit hot spots where we were getting a lot of heavy growth. But yeah, they're back on track, and the 5th service is in progress. Once they've completed that 5th service, we'll monitor the program. If we need to go back and do some isolated mowing, we will in areas. But really, the attention now moves from that team off to their off-season tasks, which is our levelling verges. So there's a lot of verges we have out there which are hard to maintain, especially those growth areas where we have developer or builder interactions. So they'll be out there repairing some of them, replenishing some of the compacted fines we have, and then also the side fence line pruning where it's hard to get equipment in, or it's encroaching into footpaths. So yeah, it's quite a multidisciplinary team there where what the tasks they'll do in the off season. Our new verge landscape and maintenance guidelines. So previously, obviously, we want our residents to, or encourage them to, develop and maintain their own verges. The old process was very clunky and not really user-friendly at all. So the last number of months, we've been building a new verge landscape and maintenance guidelines for our community. So we've gone live with it, so it is online now. And really, the whole purpose of this was to make it a user-friendly experience. So really now it's just they've got rid of the whole application process where it could take a month or 2 for us to review it and get back to them, which was frustrating our residents. So now we've got a set of guidelines. All the community need to do is acknowledge it. If they align with the guidelines, they submit it and they're good to go. They don't have to wait for an approval to come back. They've acknowledged that they're meeting the guidelines, and they'll just get an automatic approval, and that same day they're good to go and develop their verge. So yeah, like I said, it's a soft launch. A soft launch because we want to really just get a feel for how people are experiencing, and if we need to make any changes, and then we'll work with our comms and marketing team in the near future to do some promotion around it. But instead of doing that up front, we thought we'd just get a feel for how our community are experiencing it, take any feedback on board, make any adjustments, and then we'll push forward with some greater promotion of that service. But yeah, that's a great outcome for the community, I think, and to date it seems to be, the uptake's small, but the feedback is positive. Our rural roads and streetscapes, so our tractor slashing program's been in full progress over the last, since late last year. We have 6 tractors in operation there. So since my last presentation, they've completed 2 full cycles. And then, and also of our roadside, or our rural roadsides as well, 2 cycles have been done. We had a real focus on our fire tracks, which has been in consultation with the CFS. We've delivered 60 service requests for our customers, and they've worked a total of 13 Saturdays. So really that program's really focused on our fire prevention activities and reducing our field loads across the city. It's just one of the the many pieces of the puzzle for fire preparedness. Obviously we maintain our road network, our verges, our weed spraying of our verges, the tree canopy. They all form part of that puzzle to, I guess, the fire preparedness, as do the activities the private landholders conduct on their properties. In the off season, that team moves to side and rear fence line pruning, and also will be in some of the dryland reserves and our windbreaks doing tree pruning. So you'll probably see in some of the windbreaks at the moment, they are looking a little bit there's limbs on the ground from recent storm events, and over the coming weeks and months that team will be in there cleaning them up, and one for the presentation, but also to allow better access for our machines to be able to do the grass cutting in the cutting season. legally dumped rubbish. So yeah, this obviously has been getting a bit of attention of late, and it's been last few weeks I've spent personally quite a bit of time trying to better understand the service we deliver, and the stats, and I guess just being open and transparent. You know, we are finding it a little bit challenging to understand our data. You know, we've got a lot of data out there, but just to be able to tell the story and how we've traditionally measured it, it is providing or proving to be a little bit challenging. So, you know, what we're looking at doing is doing like a deeper dive, a service review of this function, you know, over the coming months to better understand it and meet the growing needs of our the community in this space. So yeah, as you can see, the total collections for 2024 was 5,200. 2025 we've experienced about 7,000 collections. That's about a 34% increase. The graph up there does track, as you can see, in probably August, September. Our incidents reported has been tracking higher than our total collections, and that's continued on into this part of this year. So, and that's where we're really starting to feel the pressure now, where we've got a backlog of requests in the system, which we have been struggling to keep up with for various reasons. We didn't adjust our program to suit that quick enough, and as a result, it's probably just compounded a bit, and we're in a position now where, as you're aware, we've had to put extra resource on. We've had to draw resource from our other teams to help support this function and to try and reduce the levels back to the I guess the average weekly requests that we get in, where we can then manage it. Traditionally we have about 3.6 FTE on allocated to this function, but what we have typically done with the seasonal demands is we've pulled teams off from other areas, especially in the stormwater team, who are in that same team as IDR, so they've always helped out. Probably late last year we did have that team more focused on stormwater works, and it did take probably didn't allocate enough resource to IDR at certain times of the year. Since October, we have tried to increase it at times, so we've had up to 6 FTE working on it. And then as of Thursday last week, as you're aware, we've significantly increased our resource in this area with up to 12 FTE, which is about 5 to 6 crews working on IDR, with the aim. Our modelling shows that over probably the next 20 days, business days, we'll be able to get that back to the 10-day daily average is what we're aiming for. So the way we deliver it is a suburb-based approach traditionally. So the city is broken up into the suburbs, and that's where we put our resource. And what we've been finding is if they tackle a suburb and they don't quite get to all those requests, then they just get added on to the next time we're there, which is can be up to 14 days away. So that's not great for our customers either, or our residents either, where they're doing the right thing and reporting it and thinking it's going to be collected within a time frame, but because of the volume we're dealing with, our time frames have been pushing out. So as of this week, we've also made another change where we've moved the administration process of that from our coordinators on the ground and our managers. So the admin people can really focus on managing the requests as they come in, providing good customer service back to our residents. So phoning them, letting them know if we're not going to meet the timeframes. And what that does is it allows our managers and our coordinators in this space to really focus on delivery. And just being out there, auditing, scoping the works and planning it properly, as opposed to having to manage the admin process in the background. So as of today, we've got about 626 outstanding CRSs in the system. Friday and Saturday, we closed 128 of the 128. So that was on top of the 626. And as I've mentioned, the aim is to reduce the total reported incidents to the targeted 10-day daily average within about 20 days. That's working days. So over the next 3 to 4 weeks, we will be working Saturdays as well. Observation from the team working just on Saturday, they did a great job, and we're collecting a lot of rubbish out there, but witnessing just quite a lot of people dumping it, back on the verges as they were picking it up. So there's a real behavioural issue there, and I think that's part of our deeper dive, our service review, is to really look at our compliance, but also how we can educate our community around the other services that are available. Because what we do know is there's a really good uptake of our curbside collection service and our voucher system. So although these stats are quite high, the uptake of those services is significantly higher again. So a huge part of our community are really wanting to do the right thing and obviously care about the city presentation. And we just need to obviously have a bit of a deeper look at that and how we can tap into that better. Obviously having those teams focused on IDR at the moment, it is taking away some resource from our Parks and Gardens, Civil, our verges, trees and our support services team, which isn't ideal, but it's obviously we just need to move the resource there to address this at this point in time, and hopefully we'll get back to that in the very near future. Those services are continuing to maintain, it's just that we are drawing some resource from them. The deeper dive, so that'll happen. We've got a commitment to that, and we'll probably bring that back for, I guess, probably a council workshop in the near future once we've done that assessment or service review there for discussion. One of the last observations is just over that Christmas Christmas January holiday period. We need to be a bit more careful with how we do our rosters and plan, allocate our resource. We know that we're down staff, everyone's on holidays, so we need to ensure that we're maintaining the level of service. We're not just depleting our resources and not delivering that service. So that's a lesson learned. Weed management, so over the next few months, our curb and gutter spraying program will be occurring across all areas. Our combined weed spraying program, so that's targeting all our sporting ovals, spraying of hard stand areas, club rooms, park furniture, irrigation compounds will be occurring. After that, we move on to our broadleaf treatments across sporting precincts and irrigation reserves. Pest plant program, so this, obviously, our support services deliver this, but in conjunction with our biodiversity team, so work very closely with them on our declared weed species or ones that we want to monitor. So current observations are the fleabane. We've seen a significant reduction in that compared to this time last year. Some of that's seasonal, but also the work they did last year on that, which had a heavy presence across the city. Our tumbleweed, there's current issues, especially in our TCD or traffic calming devices or traffic islands around and roundabouts across the city. Early response, so sites are treated early to avoid the large plants and obviously hand removal, which is labour intensive. Our ongoing delivery, so we've got pest plant control programs are ongoing, early intervention focused to limit re-establishment, extra servicing in new developments due to caltrops. Obviously the new development areas where opening up land and ground, obviously they'll get heavy weed infestation, so we need to keep a close eye on that and manage that. One of note is the Chilean needlegrass, which is a notifiable weed. We've limited roadside verge presence due to the work we've been doing there, but we do note significant presence on private properties. So, in partnership with Green Adelaide, we've been doing a lot of work there to talk with our landholders or private landholders there to manage that in their properties. And then you can just see some key areas of targeted species. I won't read through them, but up on the right there, it's just other species and specific locations where we're managing other weed species. Stormwater maintenance, so work's completed since my last presentation. So we've open drains maintenance, so we've done about 1.4 kilometres of open drain maintenance. We've inspected a further 18 kilometres to help build our programs. We've got a technical officer in our team that's really focused on our proactive stormwater programs, so building them aligned with risk and priority. Pits and pipes, so we've cleaned and inspected 536 pits and 25 head walls have been cleaned. Our upcoming work, so the Blakeview open drain and swale works is in progress. Willow Swale, Manapara, the rock mattress has been installed there to help with stormwater management and sediment control. So yeah, that's, if not completed, it should be completed shortly. Pits and pipes, so as we move into the wetter months, we manage the hotspots. We know where our high risk areas are, so if we get like heavy rain events forecasted, that's part of our program, is to inspect them and clean them as needed. And we'll continue to service our dry weather zones prior to the winter. That's our head wall program. With our tree program, so October last year to February this year, we've pruned about 7,200 trees, mainly focused on the Riverlea, Virginia, and parts of Anglevale and Craigmore area. So that's anything kind of above our kind of young trees up to our mature trees. So really that's maintaining the overall health and amenity of the tree, but also allowing the envelope pruning for our rubbish trucks and all our other vehicles, and to gain access and footpath clearances as well. The team have watered 68,488 trees over that period. So that's obviously been a very dry summer, so that's been quite a focus for us. And tree maintenance tasks completed, so this is generally the smaller trees, about 9,500 activities have occurred there. So that's just reshaping water bowls, putting tree stakes back in and tightening them up. Our tree pruning program, so from March to May, we'll finish works in the Anglevale and Craigmore area, and then expect to see us throughout the Manapara West, Manapara Downs and Blakeview area, just carrying on with tree maintenance programs. And they'll also be supporting the windbreak program as well where needed, and providing support there. Tree planting program for this year, we've got a total of 2,290 trees currently planned for planting. Of that, we've got 640 street trees planned. Our replacement trees or customer requests are 152, and our amenity trees 1,500. The top area we'll be focusing on this year is Manapara West. We've got 578 street trees going in there. Hillbank's got 48, and then distribution of the rest across other areas. Manapara West and Hillbank, we have a very low existing canopy cover there, so need to have a focus there, obviously, with our targets to increase the canopy, and a large number of undefined verges, which are ideal for new street trees there. In the little graph to the right there, you can see just a snapshot of our since 2022, our street tree program. So that's just street trees. So trees planted last year, we had 1,188. Tree failures was 112, so that's about a 90% success rate with our trees, which is actually generally what a lot of councils aim for, is around that 90% mark. You'll probably notice that we planted 1,188 trees, street trees last year, and this year we've only got 640, or plus the 152 replacement trees. So the numbers are down. What we found is, just with the demand of our tree planting program, we're in a position where we can reduce it slightly this year, because we really want to focus on the quality outcome as opposed to the quantity, and just try and maintain that 90% target there. So on top of all the trees we plant, we've probably got another, 2,500 developer trees coming on board on average each year. So they usually come on board around about that 2-year mark, and then so they still require another year or so on our juvenile tree maintenance program. So the tree team under Ben's control have amazing programs in place and data there. So right down to the individual trees they're managing and how much resource is required. So that's why they can be quite agile and adjust the trees to ensure we get the quality outcomes there and meet our long-term canopy targets there. So parks, gardens and streetscapes. The team there, we're, as I mentioned earlier, we've got a dedicated parks and gardens team now under the leadership of Troy. You would have noticed, we'll probably notice, we've been doing a blitz down Curtis Road at the moment, just a couple of photos there. There's a lot of roadworks going there, and we are limited with what we can do, but we're just trying to mulch it and remove some of the dead vegetation and do some irrigation audits and get the mulch replenished, just to increase the presentation of the area, and it's looking great already. That's still a work in progress. It's a large area and consumes a lot of mulch, so we're having to do that in sections. Elizabeth CBD, obviously just out here, we've met with the team here a number of times and really tried to build their awareness, or have built their awareness around what's going on in the CBD and the role that they play in the maintenance of the area. And our maintenance needs to, well, it needs to lift a little bit, but it needs to be a consistent level of service to match, the level of investment that's going on here. And it's a unique place and requires a high level of service. So over the last number of months, we've had a real focus on uplifting the gardens and doing some replanting there. We've increased our presence with the pressure cleaning of the plaza area, even the turf area. We've really focused on the health of that and trying to uplift that. So I think it's looking great. The guys and girls out there are doing an amazing job, and they're quite proud of the work they do and their involvement in that area. So it's an exciting time to be part of that team out in this area there with everything going on. Within our roads, heavy patching, so this has been completed now. So we did Anderson Walk, Morialta Drive, Waruka Crescent and Waruka Drive. We had 7 patches in total, raising from 50 mil deep to 200 deep lift. So really what this is a maintenance program. It's really anything up to probably 25% of the total road, or anything under that is maintenance. When it gets beyond that, we generally hand that over to, Janie's team as more of an asset capital upgrade. But this is probably the top end of, the larger scale maintenance we'll do on road networks. And we, obviously roads, they vary greatly over the years depending on the seasonal outcomes or the level of traffic they receive. So we have a rolling program, but we do review it ongoing and bring other roads forward if needed to manage that. So we'll start building the program for next year based on our observations when we're out and about across the city. Sports fields, so we've got the dedicated team now, so 64 hectares of sports fields, 128 hectares are mowed weekly, so that's a double cut in the growing season. So that's a lot of mowing occurs out there. Over the last number of months, we've replaced about 2,000 square metres of turf in the high east areas. That's really our goal squares, coaches' boxes, where we get a lot of use there. And currently the team are working on the seasonal changeover, so all our cricket wicket covers are getting pulled up and the soccer covers are going down where needed, so the gecko covers. They're installing all the soccer and rugby goals. We've got 36 sets we install out there, and our team do all the initial line marking for all the sports fields as well. So that's just the first line marking of the season, and then hand it over to the clubs, and they do the rest for the remainder of the season there. Just an observation at Angle Vale Sports Complex, over the summer or the Christmas period, we did have a pump failure there, and I think that's it's the second year in a row that's occurred. So it's obviously something that we don't want to occur again. We put a lot of effort into that sport ground late last year, based on the heavy demand, the heavy level of use, and had it in a really good, healthy position. And then unfortunately over the Christmas period we had a pump failure there, and lessons learned. We worked with our IT team and we've installed a telemetry monitoring system to really give us real-time data and alerts if that goes down, so it doesn't occur. And to date we've had 0 pump issues there in that location, and as you can see on the left is a photo of what it was looking like just over the Christmas period, and it wasn't great, and caused a lot of distress for the club, who were quite obviously a big club there, and a high level of use, and see the turf surface decline quite rapidly through that season. So we've got it back to a condition, as you can see on the right, where it's actually looking probably healthier than it ever has, just a higher level of intervention since that incident occurred. So I guess that's just a bit of an observation about an incident we had, and the controls we've put in place to prevent that from occurring again. just a couple photos. So on the left, just the team putting in some soccer goals. We've got the bit of turf works we did at the Garner Park there in front of the interface between the oval and the club rooms. Yeah, it looks really nice, and I think that'll provide a high level of amenity there for the club with how they interact with that site, and then a team member out doing some line marking on the side there. Uplift works, so yeah, I'll just cruise through a few of these. We got Craigmore Road, the team in that precinct's recently just done a little landscape job upgrading the corner there, the landscape. Obviously it once looked like that, and for various reasons it's declined, so we've brought that back up to a nice standard there. The team on the ground took ownership of that and wanted to do it, so really encouraged them to do that. And as I mentioned earlier, a lot of them are studying at the moment, so I think there is this renewed interest and motivation for them. They're quite excited to try new things, which is quite pleasing to see. And I think that that investment's really paying off there with the uplift across the city with what we're experiencing with the team and how their renewed motivation for the roles they have. In the health precincts, Rollason Reserve, so on the left is what it did look like after the park was shut down and services were dug through there. So on the right is what it's looking like now. So new paths and turf works have occurred there, irrigation systems. We did have some subsidence there with the services that were put through, so that's just currently just getting repaired, but yeah, it hasn't interrupted the park at all. It's still open and usable, and yeah, looking really tidy. North Lakes Golf Course entrance, another one the team's been working on over the last few weeks, so just really trying to help the golf course and that arrival zone there. And our team has worked in collaboration with Bel Air Turf, obviously, who manage the golf course there, so they've done a little landscape job and yeah, made it, I guess, to look like a bit of a golf green and a bunker. And there's a few plants that are still, I think they have gone in since this photo was taken. But yeah, it's a great, tidy little landscape design the team come up with and delivered. And the best part as well is Bel Air Turf will take on the maintenance of this little landscape. So it's a great little collaboration there. Hogarth and Haydown roundabouts. So these have been on the uplift work program for a little while now, and if you haven't been through there recently, they have begun. So yeah, they would have been finished probably by now, but obviously with everything else going on and legally dumped rubbish, we've had to take some of the team members off, which does prevent some of these works from progressing as quickly as we would like. But yeah, these over the next few weeks or month, we should see a lot more progress there. We are just waiting on some water meters, so we've got applications in with SA Water. We had to get our water meters upgraded there, so those applications are in, and once they've been approved and installed, we'll progress with them. So really what the end goal for them will be is irrigated turf in there with some specimen trees. We are a little restricted with some overhead power lines, but I think it will be a high impact landscape once it's done, and low maintenance. And lastly, we've got the storm event planning. I just thought I'll give you a little bit of insight into this. So yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we had the significant storm event that was forecasted across South Australia. So in the lead up to that, obviously we keep a close eye on the weather forecast on a day-to-day basis, just to help planning with our works. But we could see this one coming, so yeah, we were proactively monitoring that in the lead up, and started putting our plans in place, checking our hotspots there, SEPs and swale drains which needed maintenance, and then leading into later into that week, the SES, who were the I guess the incident command for that type of event, held a briefing for all councils in South Australia because it was a level 2 incident. Yeah, so quite a significant incident they classed it as. They set up a command centre as well in Netley and briefed all councils on this event. What was pleasing to see, you wouldn't see it, what's occurring, but behind the scenes, a lot of effort's going into an event like this. Our emergency management plans kick into play and the right people from across the organisation come together and really look at what we need to do to maintain the event, like what rosters, what resourcing we need on board. We had full schedules built for across the weekend, leadership in place to manage the incident, or be the commander on that weekend. We had all plant machinery in place. We had, over the weekend, just preempted it, we had staff out and about, like doing proactive inspections on the Saturday and Sunday in the event that weather event did, hit us. Fortunately, it didn't. And there was just active communication. On the Friday, we had a full briefing. We brought all the right senior managers and key council officers together and had a full briefing on the incident and the roles and responsibilities across the organisation. And I thought it was a really good, a good exercise to go through. Although it didn't amount to anything really, it was really an exercise just to put our emergency planning in place and test that. And I think if the time comes where we do have more of an emergency event, I think we're in a good position to really lean on the learnings from that. That's it. Thank you. Any questions?
Councillor Norris.
Thanks. I have a few.
Okay.
Sorry. First one, I just wanted to know, with City Ops, obviously you've talked about a few management positions and splitting the teams up. Have we actually had any growth in the teams themselves? Like, have we employed more people, or we've just kind of split the teams off?
I think, prior to me, there's always been a little bit of some steady growth, but part of our workforce planning calls for quite a lot more resource in the next stages of that. So the focus of last year was really getting the first stage was getting staff trained. So it was about uplifting our current resources, the skill set we had there. And then the last 6 months since I've been at council has really been focused on actually reviewing the workforce plan and then getting the leadership structure sorted. So I think there's no point, hiring all more new staff and doing the same thing unless we've got the leadership structure in place. So high degree of confidence in the people we've got now, the leadership team we've got in place, and the structure, the delivery model, and then the frameworks that sit around that. And then the next stages, myself and Dale and my managers will be working on is the resource needed to the increased resources needed to deliver our services. So so there is quite a plan there in the background of what that looks like.
Yep, that's good. The other question, okay, hard rubbish. Is there scope for us to get, I really appreciated the update that we got tonight, because I'm asking, is there scope for us to get more further updates, whether it be at Strategy and Services or a memo, just to understand if the redeployment is working, whether we need to then permanently keep some people there or hire a couple of people full-time roles, etc. Because it's one thing, I think, to catch up on the CRSs, but it's another to realise that this problem isn't going away. And I think we all need to be sort of conscious of what those needs are as well. Because, yes, you bear the brunt of it with your teams, but so do we. And I think it's really important that we're kept updated.
Yes, I think the answer is yes to that. I'm happy to provide more updates by way of, memos, especially over the coming weeks, where we know we've got a problem that we're trying to solve. So I'm happy to provide some progress updates with that. I think the key piece of work is the service review or the deeper dive we need to do. And that'll, from my understanding, that'll be brought back to council as a way of a workshop to understand the nature of the issue and some opportunities for what that looks like, moving forward. So.
Yeah, I think some of the things, and that leads into one of my other questions, do we collate suburban data instead of just driving here, there and everywhere? I know, you can't always just go, oh, well, this came in 4 weeks ago and this came in today, but it's all in the one area. But I think we're just, we're consciously chasing our own tail across the city, and I think sometimes we just need to go, all right, there's 40 jobs here in Smithfield, let's just get what we can, and then... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, yeah. It's very much, the current model is where we do go the suburb by suburb, and that's quite a structured approach, but I think we do need to be more agile based on the nature of where the requests are coming at times. But the moment we do that, it kind of, you take your eye off that, and the issue does, build elsewhere. So I don't have the exact answers for you, but I do know that we do have a lot of data available to us. It's just how we analyse that and try to tell the stories, and that'll be a key focus for me over the coming weeks and probably month or two, is to really understand that a lot deeper, to be able to tell those stories and work out a proper delivery model. Yep. Well, not a proper delivery model, but like an improved delivery model for that service. Yeah, it's not going away, and as our data shows, it is increasing, and as I mentioned as well earlier, our uptake of the curbside collections and the voucher system is well used as well. So there's a lot of insight there to be had. Yeah.
And I think as the city expands, obviously there's going to be more people more moving in, which is great, but at the same time that brings more rubbish. It is, and we're seeing that already. Even out Riverlea Way, a lot an increase in illegally dumped rubbish out. In those new type developments. One final question, just around the trees, and I think more so in those suburbs that don't really have a lot of street trees or anything at the moment. Do we notify residents if we're going to put one on their verge?
Yes.
Definitely?
Yep.
Because it'd just be interesting to come home and you've got a tree out the front of your house. So.
No, because what we do find a lot of, the conversations I've had is, we do get, some objections to people wanting trees, and there's no use fighting that fight. If they don't want a tree, they won't have a tree, So, it's just a waste of a good tree. We will try to educate them. We do want to have those conversations and for them to understand the value of having a tree, both from environmentally and, the value of their property as well. So,
Cool. That's all. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for that presentation. That was great. Really informative. I think we would all appreciate an organisation chart with your new setup, with names and faces and what they're responsible for, so that it gives an idea, because I think with a lot of new people coming on board, it tends to get very, very confusing as to where you're supposed to send your inquiries.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. I'll have a look at that. Yeah, I'm not sure what we do across the organisation in that sense, but obviously the main mechanism is to send requests through the customer request system, and that'll definitely find its way to the right team member.
Mayor Doherty.
Madam Chair, just a couple of questions in relation to your presentation. Thanks, Glenn, for your presentation. In relation to, you talk about the suburb by suburb approach. So I'm really interested around this point of what doesn't get collected then gets put on the list for subsequent collection from a suburb point. So I'm just interested in the extra work that we're doing. Can you just step through of how we're tackling some of those? Because I've given you a live example during the week, as you know, of items in a report on the 19th and 20th of January that didn't get picked up to the 5th of March. So based on that suburb approach, that's if you take that 10-day forecast, that's the 2nd of February, been and gone, 16th of February, been and gone, 2nd of March, been and gone, still hasn't been picked up. So I'm just interested around that model of, due to the larger number that we have, how we're going back to actually rectify those that have been missed in early January, February, when we have got ones that are reported mid-February that have been picked up within the 10-day time frame, so that those residents that are doing the right thing and reporting aren't now having blowouts of well over more than 20 days, but we're now looking at 30 or if not more days in that time. So just talk me through how that's going to be managed in the future.
Yep. So it's the plan for delivering that we're still working through, but late last week we met up, we had some urgent meetings, we made sure we resourced up. So for Friday, Saturday, we had plans in place, and we maintained our program as normal, so where we needed to focus in on where our hotspots were as far as the suburb by suburb approach. What we're doing this week is we're revisiting that, so the leadership team and city operations are coming together to work out, all right, what is the longer term plan over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And as you've just highlighted, I think it's not a one model fits everything. What we want to do is we want to maintain the day-to-day level of service, where the requests are coming in, we're trying to maintain that. And then there's the hot spots where we need to go and, we're getting large volumes of dumped rubbish where we need to put increased resource in that. But then we probably need a team that's going back and prioritising those ones that are over date as well. So we probably need to tackle it from a few different fronts to find that balance and make sure we're, closing the volume down across the board. So that hasn't exactly been worked out yet. That'll be a plan this week that we'll definitely be solving.
So in terms of the collection data, you've gone from about 5,200 to just over 7,000. In part of your deep dive, will you also look at the tonnage of what that is? Because just because collections or CRS numbers have gone up by 1,000, while the tonnage will be more, of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that if you've got, say, an extra 1,000 collections, it could just be someone's dumped a washing machine, someone's dumped a TV, or are we talking about, you know, large numbers of those CRSs being whole house clean-outs, you know, massive industrial dumping, etc. So I'm interested when you do your deep diving that while collection numbers are good, what is the actual tonnage in terms of the items that we're collecting? Because, you know, someone in a street can report 12 items in a street 12 separate times. That gets you increased your collection. But in the grand scheme of your actual tonnage, it's not a huge amount if they're picking up one vacuum and one cardboard box compared to, say, 12 reports, which is, you know, 12 houses have been rented out, have changed ownership and all of that. So I'm just interested if we can get some of that data in terms of the actual raw tonnage amount that we're collecting, as well as just not the the number of collection points.
It's a good observation, and that's why we maintain our collections. It's an average of what we can collect. So, as I think I've mentioned, you know, some days, we might be able to pick up 100, requests, because they just might be a few boxes of, pedestal fan, or, and then other days it could be, like a whole house, that, takes the day to clean that up. Or on the back roads, we could spend 2 days out there just picking up, a whole lot of commercial, dumped rubbish or tyres. So the tonnages and the waste types will be very important in understanding how we deliver that service moving forward, and the type of equipment we need, because you've got to be mindful. It's all very well to say we've got staff, but there's 6-tonne trucks involved. There's loaders. There's bobcats involved. So it's a lot of resource attached to to maintaining this service.
So we talked quite a bit today about IDR in the terms of pick-up time and the opportunities to collect an extra staffing. So where's the nexus with the compliance measure that's going with that? So obviously with increased CRS numbers, are we also still doing our increased compliance in terms of trying to identify those that are illegally dumping, catch those, etc., or have we potentially slowed that down just due to large numbers? How are we going in terms of actually trying to help mitigate that response, not just picking up the rubbish at the other end, but also trying to manage how we capture?
Yeah, so Sean and I have been talking a lot and probably increasingly more so of late. So do you want to add to that? Yeah.
Through the chair, thanks, Mayor Doherty. So if you talk whole numbers, so 7,000 that are being collected by city operations, about 10% of that comes through to our team for investigation, of which 10% of that we would actually get enough evidence either to expiate or... So a lot of the wins that we get are through hard waste collections that have been put out too early. And we kind of triage that at the front when the customer request comes into the organisation. So no, we are managing the workload at the moment. We've set up a really good system, so the work is being directed to the right teams. Evidence is key for us to be able to get outcomes, and we struggle with that with illegal dumping.
So do you see that your team in the future may need additional resourcing if the numbers keep going up for the ones that you can, based on the numbers that flow down? There does come a point where...
Yeah, possibly there could be an increase in resourcing there. That would be aligned with the work that we're doing and the outcomes that we're getting as well. So it's you'd have to wait and see how that unfolds.
Councillor Marsh.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to pass on word on for the good work. I think this is a beast that you're never going to solve, and I think realistically, if we think we're going to solve this, we're living in utopia. You can have 100 CRSs for just small kettles and rubbish bins to pick up. We can have 100 kettles of large, bulky goods, refrigerators, mechanics, which you're going to need 3 or 4 heavy trucks to put in there. So I look forward to the review that comes through when someone forwards an email or makes a phone call, how long it takes from that point through the CRS to the allocation to a person, for the person to triage. And then to understand how the cycle of life or your employees were at that time. You know, you can throw 18 people at one suburb and you can have 23 other suburbs pissed off because you've put all the resources in one, or you can distribute 20 people across the area, and we should have hit one suburb quite heavily. But I'm also interested in the education process. So how can we better improve our advertising, our promoting? Is it regular? We hit that a couple of years ago. We hit hard with FOGO waste because we really wanted to get that 1/3 of FOGO out of the red lid bin, and we fought hard. There was a strong campaign, and we haven't done much since that. So I know I've hit this council that many times. We need regular ongoing education about the services and what are available, and sometimes we need to probably whip Norma a little bit to get them to pick up their piece there, and they play a role in providing materials across the 3 constituent councils as well. There's 2 FTEs, I think, from memory, sitting over there as well. So we need to, it's not all about us. Norma need to play their role. But I'd also be interested in knowing as well, just service delivery, do we need to have a rethink about stuff like we could use illegal, don't worry, hard waste collections. Maybe we need to open it up to FOGO deliveries of trailers. I think we need to go back and do some mathematics on the cost of Norma disposing a trailer load of FOGO, and maybe, just maybe, we need to broaden the gates of those hard waste collections can be used for FOGO transfers once or twice. You know, we'd love to get it to 100 capacity. Let's broader the distance. And even if we need to look at the red lid bin, is time up? Do we actually need to go to larger red lid bins? And for that, is it a one-off fee that you pay to upgrade it? And that's it, you waive the rest. Do we need more airspace because people have just got more crap that they need to put into their bin? So I think holistically we need to look at our service delivery as well. Yeah. Maybe it is just time to do that. So
it's definitely a fascinating subject, isn't it? There's so many elements to it, and it does need that it's not just a deeper dive on the IDR component. Yeah, it does need to factor in the other elements of our waste services as well. And yeah, education's going to be key.
Are there any other questions? If there are no other questions, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Right. So given there are no informal actions, we'll move to confidential matters. So on page 258, we have item 8.1, delegation to Chief Executive Officer, release of confidential orders. And before we proceed, I just wanted to remind councillors that today via email we received notice that there was a technical error in the printed agenda that we received. So an amended version of this item, I'm advised, has been provided to you all via print copy tonight, and it also appears correctly on the screen. So just moving forward, so we do have the correct staff recommendation on the screen that pursuant to Section 92 of the Local Government Act, an order is made that the public be excluded from attendance at the meeting with the exception of those listed on the screen. Is anyone wishing to move that? Councillor Baker.
Move that way.
Thank you. Councillor Small-Swift, do you wish to second?
Seconded, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments? No. If not, I will put that to a vote. All those in favour and those against, it's carried. So we'll just wait for the doors to be closed.
Did you know your food scraps should go in the green bin or a home compost system? It's better for the environment. It's the right thing to do. And it's easy. Fight food waste by putting all your food scraps, peels and leftovers in the green bin. To find out more, visit playford.sa.gov.au/fightfoodwaste.
Want to know what's happening in the community? Subscribe to our e-newsletter, Playford News, at playford.sa.gov.au, and you'll be on top of stories, news and what's happening in Playford. It's local news for local people.
Want to get involved in your community? There are so many benefits in becoming a volunteer at City of Playford, including meeting new people, developing new skills, sharing your talents, improving your employability, as well as enhancing your own mental health and well-being.
If you want to learn more about how to volunteer with us, visit playford.sa.gov.au/volunteers. Feedback about our city's future from our community is really important. It helps us prioritise your needs when planning services, projects and other initiatives.
A convenient way to have your say and stay in the loop on any upcoming consultations is by registering your details on our Engagement Hub website at playford.engagementhub.com.au.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Have you visited the Stretton Centre on Peachy Road, Manapara? Designed to support growth in the city of Playford, the centre offers dedicated workspaces from less than $10 per day. There's also state-of-the-art event and meeting spaces for hire, a complimentary business support service to help you upskill, apply for grants and grow, workshops and networking, as well as training for young kids right through to adults. Plus, the City of Playford Library.
Contact our team for a tour on 8254 4666 or visit the Stretton Centre at 307 Peachy Road, Manapara.
Support your local theatre and arts industry and enjoy a show at the Shedley. Playford's iconic Shedley Theatre is bringing a great selection of local and national performances to Elizabeth.
For more information on their upcoming shows, visit theshedley.com.au or call 8256 0500.
Blushing all good. Great. So, councillors, that brings us to the closure, and I declare the meeting closed at 8:42 p.m.